Morning, trumpet players. This is the video for Tuesday, April 7th, okay? Now, before we get started, a couple things that you need to make sure that you do before you go any further. Number one, you need to make sure that you have gone through the warm-up. If you have not done that, pause this video and go play the warm-up. Number two, I have already done a video on the line that I'm about to. We're about to work on the book line 51. Called Frere Jacques. And we did a video on line 51, the basic overview last week, okay? So if you have not already done that, if you haven't worked on this line at all, you need to go do that video first, okay? Because today I will be focusing on just the first half of line 51, okay? So the first 8 measures here of line 51. So first things, we gotta worry about the different elements that we're looking at. Okay, so we're looking at rhythm, we're looking at notes and positions, and then we are going to be looking at tonguing, and we're going to be looking at dynamics. Okay, so hopefully the rhythm, the first thing, the rhythm should not be very hard. These are all quarter notes and half notes, not complicated, not tricky. Okay. And that should have been covered in the first video. Number two, notes and positions, okay? So let's go through it right now. First 8 measures together, and I want you to focus on making sure that you're getting the right rhythm. I want you to focus on getting the right note names and positions. 2, ready? Okay, now again, for right now, your focus is on getting the right note names and getting the right positions, right? And again, none of these should be hard. These are pretty straightforward. We have done all these notes since the beginning of the year, okay? If you need to go back and review, go back to that first video that I did last week again, and review those note names and positions, okay? Now let's talk about the harder stuff. Let's talk about tonguing, okay? And I'm specifically talking about the slurs, okay? So looking at measure 2 and measure 4, and then in measure 5 and in measure 7 we have slurs, okay? Quick review. We tongue the first note of the slur and we don't tongue the second note. So the first 4 measures, tongue, 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 slur. Tongue, 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 slur. It should sound like this. Listen first. 2, just me. Now what you should have heard was the correct tongue that I just did, okay? And then that same thing applies in measure 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? Tongue the first note of the slur, don't tongue the second note of the slur, okay? Let's try it together. This is, like I said, the first 8 measures. Try it with me now. 1, 2, together. Now, I want you to do that a couple times on your own now, okay? Pause the video, try it again. Focus on making sure you're getting right rhythms still get the right notes and positions. And now also, every single time you have to get the right tonguing as well, okay? Now, the last piece of the puzzle is dynamics, okay? Dynamics is how loud am I playing? And I can play loud and I can play soft. In the beginning, measure 1 and measure 2 is marked with an F. F means forte. Forte means play it loud. So measure 1 and 2. And then when I get to measure 3 and measure 4, it says P. That means piano, and piano means soft. Okay, so measure 3 and measure 4. Okay, and then continuing measure 5 and measure 6, it goes back to forte. And then 7, 8, back to piano. Let's try all that together. Measure 1 through measure 8, including dynamics. 1, 2, start loud. Now, hopefully, if you did it right, you were also still doing the correct tone. Okay? Now, so at this point, we're going to wrap it up. This is not going to be a 6-minute practice session. You should be pausing the video. You should be rewinding, doing it a few more times on your own until you can get it correct every time, okay? Okay, that's it for today.